Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness. There's Cheaty McCheatface. Go check out her intro video. Sorry it's been so long since I've done a settlement tour. I've been working a lot lately, not had as much time for Fallout as I wanted. Also, with the Vault-Tec DLC coming out, I spent an awful lot of time there. I've got some kind of mod conflicts or something. I've discovered that I spend a lot more time staring at loading screens than playing the game. When I go into certain parts of the vault, you can scrap walls, and behind those walls are enemies, and as soon as I fight those enemies, game locks up. So, did everything I could think of to try and fix that, and spent an awful lot of time trying to turn off this mod or that mod, and no luck, but hopefully mod author, whichever one of it ends up being, will realize what's going on and be able to release a patch. So real world part of the story here is that this settlement took me an astonishing amount of time to build, given just how small it really is. The greenhouse here takes up the vast majority of the space, and really once you account for the greenhouse and the ruined house up the hill, there is not much room for anything else here. And since I've gotten tired of building my little apartments into walls kind of thing, I had to get kind of creative. And what I ended up doing was essentially starting over on this. It would have been faster to just completely scrap everything, but I just started kind of doing one little building at a time, and it just ended up taking quite a while. It's a fairly small settlement that's dominated by the greenhouse and the house, and so let's go take a look at what we can do with Greentop Nursery. Alright, got a few programming notes before I get started. First, I saw that No Cutscenes subscribed to my channel, and he is a freaking awesome builder with a lot of followers. So that's pretty exciting. If you like my channel, you're going to love his, so go check his channel out. Second thing, this is probably going to be a two-parter, and there is a secret to this settlement, so keep an eye out, see if you can guess what it is before I post the second part, and pat yourself on the back if you figure it out. Third thing is that I think discovered the limits of glitching the size bar at this place, because I've gotten to the point where when I enter the build mode, the game crashes, and sometimes even when I'm just walking around, the game crashes. So there are going to be a number of bedrooms and stuff in the main building that are not decorated, and that's unfortunate because I like to do complete settlements and show entire settlements, even the stuff that we've kind of seen before. But really, with bedrooms, there's not much that I can offer there that you haven't seen in the past. So we'll just have to ask you to forgive me on that. We're wearing our scientist outfit today because this is a science station. Also, because we're a scientist today, I'm wearing a pompadour wig because there's a podcast that I like called Welcome to Night Vale that has a fun character called Carlos the Scientist with the perfect hair. And if you're a fan of Fallout, go download an episode or two of Welcome to Night Vale. You might like it. We're going to take a quick walk around the outside of the settlement. And first thing you're surely going to notice is that I've got this big monolith of a structure. And I'm not thrilled about that, but with the small area that's available, and because I like to get 20 settlers in every settlement at least, building up was kind of the solution. I did kind of like what I did with the balcony there, and with the turret gallery. The inside part of that turret gallery is really fun, and hopefully you stick around for the second part of the video and check that out. But really, this thing is right up against the wall for the build area, and you can see like this side is completely flat because it is completely up against the edge of where we're allowed to build. Got a secondary gate over here that I was able to have some fun and sink a truck into the ground and put a spotlight turret in the bed of the truck. And we've got some extra trees that I placed down in here because this is, after all, a greenhouse, and I wanted it to feel as lush and green as I could. And so I would like to welcome everyone to the Botany Lab. Now, obviously the greenhouse itself is the centerpiece of the settlement. There's some cameras there. And what I decided for my in-game background story is that this is a place where the settlers are cultivating some modified plants that have been bred to have higher crop yields and to be more resistant to pests and require less water, and generally just be better farm material for the wasteland. And they're not doing this out of altruism or anything. It's not a charity. They sell their seeds, but you know, it's for a fallout settlement, especially for one of my fallout settlements. It's a pretty benign business. I kind of went a little crazy with plants in here because I wanted to just make it feel like this greenhouse was just literally exploding with life. I even jammed a tree through the broken glass up there to just kind of say, okay, we had this tree that went a little wild and grew through the top of the building. There's a science station back here and some gardening supplies. The lead botanist spends a lot of his time here, although there's some times when he just kind of disappears. No one really knows where he goes. He is an older fella, and some people might call him grumpy or curmudgeon or something, but ultimately, you know, what he's doing here has some real practical and positive benefits for the wasteland. So that's the greenhouse itself. Let's just kind of go around the outside of the walls here just quickly. Got you know, it's a Nacho Bidness settlement. There's a bathroom, actually multiple ones, and thanks to a new mod that I found called Low Poly's Settlement Furniture Pack, I think. We have some honest-to-God toilet paper, and it's about time because I was tired of wiping my butt with newspapers and books and corn cobs and anything else I could get my hands on out here in the waste. Got a Brahmin pen here with no Brahmin in it. I could actually spawn a Brahmin with a mod, but since I'm having so many crash issues as it is, I chose not to. This capsule structure here, I wanted this to kind of feel like something that was pre-existing, and the settlers found it, and the lead botanist just kind of had people start moving in there, and so it's a bit of a mix between old and new. For example, this little veranda here, I glitched on later. It's not snapped on or anything, just something the settlers came in and built after the fact, and they've moved some of that indoor furniture out here, and you can kind of see inside here. For some reason all the doors were open. They weren't all open before. There are, of course, course, with no HUD, it's hard to find it. But yeah, there are doors in here, and you know, it's like I said, just kind of a mix between the original furnishings and some other stuff that folks have drug in here from the wasteland as they've kind of attracted more and more people to live here and work in the greenhouse. This room I thought was kind of fun. I decided I wanted to have a room that was dedicated to a guy that fancied himself a great hunter. So he's got guns on the wall, and he's got some trophies, but honestly, his trophies are just not that impressive. I mean, a dog and a mutant hound and a radstag, like that's you know, that's not a Yaguai or a Deathclaw hanging up there after all. He doesn't have an actual bed. He's just got a sleeping bag that he threw on a table because this room it proved to be too difficult to try and haul that old equipment out. And over here, there's another one of those cameras. Got some non-functional sinks and fountains and some other stuff that was just left here because it was just too much of a pain to get rid of it, as well as another little room back here with some bunk beds for some more workers over in that greenhouse. Over here, take a look at this. I decided that I wanted to start staging junk around my scavenging stations, because if you just kind of watch the animation, like, okay, so a guy walks up to it and runs a torch up and down one side of it, and somehow that generates rubber and steel and all the other stuff that these things put out. It's like, well, that's silly. So this is just some random crap that they've drug in through the waste that are getting ready to get disassembled here at this scavenging station. Got a little guard post up there, and over here we've got our power shed. No Respawns did a really awesome one at his slog called the Fish Tank that I was sorely tempted to copy, but decided that I shouldn't do that. I just kind of kept what I did here. It's easy to enclose these fusion generators with the walls in the barns tab. There's another camera. With the walls in the barn tab or the warehouse tab, but the walls for like the metal and wood shacks are too short. Excuse me. I did sink a pathway, you know, with these paving stones around the outside of the greenhouse, but I did kind of sink it into the ground just to try and give the impression that it's been there a while and soil's kind of started to wash over those things. They haven't really been maintained. Got a little side gate here and armor workstation. I don't normally put these outside, but I feel like it's sheltered enough with it sitting underneath the roof that's made up of this guard shack. He's got a switch to open that door. It's non-functional right now since the generator's off. The big crate there is just another thing that was too big for him to screw around with and try and get rid of. Now the bathroom here. Potema did a great video recently on bathroom builds. She did some kind of clever bathroom builds that I like, and I may replicate in a later settlement. More toilet paper, thank God. Although the guy did actually get the toilet paper on there backwards. People put the toilet paper on that way. Heathens, just, you know, you ought to know that. More random crap that's staged up for this scavenging station over here. Let's very quickly, just because I do the whole thing, we got a bedroom for a guard who spends his days up here. I like to usually put shade over my guard stations, but I feel like that big tree that I put in kind of fills the bill. Just very quickly, we've got another small prefab shack and another place for another guard to keep an eye out over the road. He's got some supplies and one last pile of crap that's eventually going to get broke down here at that scavenging station. Put that power loader in there, but I don't really know why. I just thought it looked cool. I mean, if you think about it, like there's no reason for it to be here pre-war, but hey, it's been 200 years. All kinds of weird crap probably happened. Our general trader in this settlement is a bookseller. He was attracted by the peaceful nature of the work that these guys are doing here, and so although it is a junk shop, it is also probably one of the places where you're going to find more books than just about anywhere else in the wasteland. So, hello. I think that's actually a caravan guard, not the actual trader. And that guy in his underwear is definitely a caravan guard. Does anyone know why the caravan guards are always running around in their underwear? You'd think especially for Lucas Sims, the armor guy, he could outfit his dudes in better than some like bondage gear and tighty whities. So upstairs is where the shopkeeper lives. For some reason that light stays on, even with no power in the settlement, but that's okay. We're not really doing a complicated power grid or showcasing power stuff with this one. Kind of the last little bit for crash. Well, let me reboot the game here and I'll join you again in a second. Wait, never mind. It's gonna roll. Okay, so there's a spot here on the ground where those traveling caravans like to sit. So I just kind of built my caravan post around it and plunked down a couple of chairs. The caravans that come through here will sell to the caravans their seeds at a cut rate, as long as the caravans will advertise where they got them, so that hopefully they can build their business with what they're doing with their botany experiments over time. Got a place here where you can, if you're desperate enough for a bath, you can take a bath. This is probably the only thing that I've got here that is more or less unchanged since I almost started over on this settlement. About the only thing I did was add some decoration and some towels. Finally, way back in the back here, we've got a dumpster. This is where they trash their failed experiments. They do have to be a little bit careful with them because some of the plants are poisonous. Let's go take a look inside the first floor of the house here. This is a clinic area and got a little waiting area, and using a mod that I think was called Improved Vendors that adds a ton of detail. Uh-oh. Did it crash? I think it crashed. Alright, I'm going to reboot the game. Hang on just a sec. So we rebooted, and let's try this again. This is our clinic area. Unfortunately, the vendor's not staying in there. When the vendors are in these new stalls that are from the mod, there's a lot more decoration. They're really cool. It has a bed for examinations. It's not exactly private, but you take what you can get in the wasteland. The doctor and his wife have they were essentially opportunists that came along when they heard about this place, heard it was nice and peaceful and probably a good place to raise some kids. They have an actual semi-functional bathroom here, which is more than most people have. I was able to restore these sliding doors inside the house here. They have a fairly well-appointed master bedroom, at least for the wasteland it is. Across the hall here, they've got the room for their young twin boys. That you know, for wastelanders, these kids are rich. They have actual toys and a tricycle, and although I imagine fishing in the wasteland is probably more dodging stingwings and catching radioactive three-eyed fish than maybe would actually make it not very fun. Over here is room for their teenager. He has big dreams about joining the Brotherhood of Steel, and yet also being a big damn hero in the railroad. Well, you know, kind of ignoring that those groups hate each other, but you know, the optimism of youth. So that's kind of what I want to show in part 1 here. Be sure and stay tuned for part 2. I'm going to show off the karaoke bar that I've built into that big monolith there. And if you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, take a look around the channel. Maybe take a look at Egret Tours Part 2. I did a Followers of the Apocalypse settlement there with kind of a weird little twist with the animated disco dance floor. If you like that too, then be sure to subscribe. And if you didn't like, be sure to tell me why down in the comments so that I can try and do better next time. I'm Nacho Bidness, and I'm saying it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it. More cameras.